Welcome, everybody, to a special episode of Gold Derby's reality derby show. I am Marcus James Dixon.
And I am Denton Davidson, and we have with us today the winner and runner-up of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 17, Onya, Nurve, and Jewel Sparkles.
Hello.
Hey.
How long did it take you to get ready today?
Like 30 minutes.
Yeah, just like a half hour.
Yeah, I think
So
not that long.
You didn't just wake up and roll out of
Well,
bed.
you know what? A lot of it was waking up out of the bed. You know, I brushed my hair out a little bit, brushed my teeth.
No, but to be for real, I did not have that much time to get ready today. It took me a couple of hours today, which usually takes me longer, so I'm very surprised on how gorgeous I look.
Well, we're not surprised, and that's one of the reasons you won this whole thing. So let's get right into that. How did that impact your life? Like, what is it like, overnight success, and now you're traveling all over?
Honestly, I don't think we've had much time, or I've had much time for it to sink in. Ever since I won the crown, it's been go, 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 next place after next place after next place. But I am super grateful, grateful for the love that I've been getting from the community and everyone from the world. And it's truly life-changing, and I'm learning every day how much it's changing my life.
And how about you?
I mean, yeah, I've been so blessed and so lucky for all the opportunities that have come from the show. I mean, like Onya said, it's been pretty much go, go, go ever since, the show even, like, the first episode came out, and I feel like our lives changed overnight. So, yeah, I mean, getting to travel the world, meet fans from everywhere, perform in different cities, meet other entertainers. It's been, like, the ride of a lifetime, and I'm pinching myself every day. Like, this is generally the coolest thing ever.
And you're both still getting along, it seems like.
Absolutely.
Of course, yeah, absolutely, 100%.
So let's talk about the season finale. Heading into that, how nervous were you, and did you actually think that you would pull it off?
I didn't know. I was up there with 4 entertainers that was just as talented as me, and the only thing that was going through my brain, because there was so much going on and so little time to do anything, was just like me telling myself, Onya, you just have to do your best and just try to have some fun. And so to answer your question, no. Girl, I didn't know at all.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where you go in and you're like, okay, we did the work, we did the show, and now we're going to go in and just do what you can and have fun. And I mean, I went in there with no expectations. I was like, whatever happens is going to happen, and whatever's meant for me is going to be meant for me. And just go in there and do, like what you said, do your best. And that's like all you can do. Really.
What's the saying? Prepare for the worst
and expect the best.
Expect the best.
Wait,
like that.
other way around, maybe.
Other way around. But something like that. It was like the mind frame.
We prepared for the worst and appreciate anything that comes after that. Any victory that happened there was the cherry on top. I was, you go in there expecting, girl, you're going to be the first one to go home. So any day that you get to survive after that was kind of like a mentality on the show, to be honest. Because
it's a competition. It's so easy to be down on yourself if you don't do as well. So you had to take that time, especially before going into finale, to give yourself the flowers that you deserve and be like, you, regardless of what happens, you did a good job.
And luckily, we are one of the seasons, because it changes every season, that we got time between filming and actually the show airing to watch ourselves back before we went back for the finale. Not every season is like that. So we were really lucky to be able to, learn from watching yourself on TV and seeing how you interact with people and seeing how my makeup looks on TV and the way I walk and all of those things. It's really an out-of-body experience to see yourself on TV, because you only really see yourself in the mirror in real life or in videos. But when you're watching yourself exist on TV, you're like, holy shit. So this can change. I can do this better, this whatever. And then, we went to the finale, and with all that, in my head, I felt like I grew so much, for sure.
Mm. And I mean, you spoke during the season that you're relatively new to this. Did you feel underestimated walking into that room the first time with some of these other queens that had more experience?
A little bit, yeah. I probably wasn't the only queen who did drag 3 years before getting on the show. I think there was a few of us, or a couple of us, but there was a sense of, I don't have as many followers. A lot of the girls don't know me, so therefore I'm going to be underestimated, and I felt like I had to prove myself. But I really didn't have to. I think that was all in my own head. and we were kind of always on the same playing field. There's just the competition aspect of the game and then the social aspect of the game. And I feel like the social aspect of the game is where I personally had the most work to do.
Just in your interactions.
In my interactions, in proving that I was just as good, you know, because
Stepping on someone's garment.
yeah, stealing a few trims here and there, you know,
Right.
the basics.
One of my favorite moments this season was the makeover challenge. Both of your fathers come in, and it's such an emotional moment. People at home were crying tears. What was it like when you saw Pampa?
Oh, everything. I mean, me and my dad are really close, and getting to share that moment with him, like, me, of course, living my dreams, and, you know, because of him, like, he's always been someone to tell me, like, you can do anything you put your mind to. You just have to, like, you know, do it. You have to get up and do it. And for me to be there, you know, doing it, and then getting to experience that with him, and, like, for a straight Latino man, you know, to go and support his son in a way that's, like, you know, you get support from your parents, but when they actually like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna cross dress for my son, like that's crazy. That's crazy. And for me to have that video forever and ever, it's, you know, it's the greatest gift ever.
In Onya?
Yeah, it was amazing. You know, my dad has always been a huge support of my drag, but like Jules said, I didn't know it was to the point where they would get on the show with me and do drag. And honestly, I don't know if Jules agrees, but when all of the parents were coming into the show, I thought my mom
Oh, yeah,
or
me too.
at least some woman in my life was going to come in. So when my dad came in, there was an extra level of, oh shit, like, not only do I have to put my dad in drag, like he's wearing a beard, he has to shave.
Yeah, it was hard.
I don't know how she's going to interact with the queens because, you know, Jules has a straight Latino dad and I have a straight black dad, and like, it was just a lot. And so it was a lot of emotions, and yeah.
Yeah.
It was one of the best moments of the season. And I'm like, Emmy voters, if you were watching that episode, you know who to vote for.
At every single meet and greet I go to, still, people always ask for my dad. They're always like, where's Salchicha? Every single, you know, show I've gone to since that episode came out, you know, people just have a connection to that, too. So it's like, it's the coolest thing.
Yeah, all the ladies are always like, give your dad my number. Tell your dad I say hey.
Yes.
And everyone else always loves Snatch Game as well. And thankfully, both of you did well in that. That's not always the case. But I will say, when you said in the episode, I'm going to do Eddie Murphy, I was like, oh, hell no. Like, that's not going to work. But it did, and you killed it.
Thank you.
What gave you the confidence to go forward with that? Because it's not always as accepted to do like a straight man in Snatch Game. So
You know,
seemed prepared.
It was really hard for me to figure out what character I was going to do. I landed on Eddie Murphy for multiple reasons. I've been watching like movies that he's been doing for a long time, like Nutty Professor, Shrek. So I really had a good idea of like his humor style and his cadence. But I've also played Donkey in Shrek not on Broadway. I wish.
On Broadway.
On Broadway.
Manifesting.
I played Donkey in Shrek in like lots of like community theaters, and so I also had like his words and like things that he would say, or people would be like, "Oh, that's Eddie Murphy," and so I just kind of like rolled with it and had a lot of fun. Yeah, and it works.
Give us a little Hercules.
Oh, Hercules.
And Jules, you were Miss Big Feet. Do not call her Sasquatch. That is
Don't do
offensive.
it. Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it, girl.
You could kind of do whatever you wanted with that character because it's make believe.
Yeah, totally. It was super fun. You know, I went into it with the storyline where, okay, we don't know anything about Bigfoot. We have this one picture where she's naked, walking in the woods.
Ew.
And I was like, this is game. This is game. Like I was like, I'm gonna go on the Snatch Game. This is her chance to redeem herself. You know, I'm gonna put my makeup on, put eyelashes on, make her really pretty, because that's what you would want to do if the only thing people know about you is like a naked picture of you in the woods. Like, that's so disgusting. So I went in trying to redeem her and give her some sort of life, a new life. And I just had so much fun with it. I really did.
Thinking back on the season as a whole, what do you think was the most difficult, either challenge or just difficult day on set for each of you?
I think for me it was the sewing challenges. We had 3 of them, which is a lot. I'm not a designer or a sewer, and so I feel like once you get to the first one and you get past it, the second one and the third one becomes there's more at stake because like they've already seen what you can make once and they want to see what you can make for the second time and the third time. And I think that gave me the biggest heart attack. It was like, I don't know what else I can make. I don't know what else I can do, what I can make. And once I got through the third song challenges, it was like the biggest relief because it's hard because they don't give us a lot of time. And on top of not knowing how to sew, it's like, you better pray.
I feel like for me, the hardest part of the competition was kind of when the top 6 became top 5.
Mm-hmm.
I think that moment where everyone around was like, I don't know, such a strong competitor started to get in my head. And we were top 5 for like 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So those 2 weeks, I was doing a lot of, self-sabotaging in my head, a lot of comparisons, yeah. So I feel like that part was like the hardest, where you have to pull yourself out of that and be like, bitch, you are fierce, you are the one, like get yourself together, because at that point, like, I was the only one who really didn't believe in myself. But yeah, you just have to get over that in your head.
The season opened with Squirrel Games, where all of these iconic all-stars came back on the set.
Girl.
They were getting hit with ties. Did you have an amazing moment, like a one-on-one with somebody from the past that you had just looked up to your whole life?
Oh my God.
Are you saying during Squirrel Games? Or
Yeah,
like,
during Squirrel Games.
no.
Were you allowed to talk to them, or did you have to, like, be separate?
I didn't even know where I was.
Yeah, they didn't tell us anything.
Oh,
We were
yeah.
like,
You
we
know-
were in vans before getting in.
Uh-huh.
They knocked on our door from the vans, and we were like, okay, don't look around. They were like, don't look around. Close your eyes. We're gonna guide you. And they guided us into another hallway, where we were like, okay, turn around. Do not turn around. And then I just hear shuffling of queens behind me. I don't know if that was the same.
Yeah,
for you.
yeah.
It was like a bunch of queens behind me, and I was like, are these the girls I'm competing against? And then they said, okay, everyone turn around. And then I turned around. I just see the back of some girl's hair. Horrible hair. And I was like, oh, girl, I got this. I was like, girl, I got this. I thought these were my other competitors. I was like, what are they wearing, girl? I got this. And then I was like, wait, that's a bitch who was already on cast.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh. And then, it was crazy. It was crazy walking in there. But I did see Trinity the Tuck in there, and she is a drag family member of mine. She's my drag grandmother. So it was actually a little comforting to see her, and it was actually very comforting to watch her get pied in the face. That was sickening. Yeah, it was funny. It was crazy.
And I love talking about nice things and other people, but I want to get real for a second. Who was the most difficult? Drama queen, diva. I mean, you got your jokes stolen. So who was most difficult for you to deal with this season?
I had a problem with all of them.
They were all terrible.
They're
That's what I
all
want to
They were
hear.
all absolutely terrible, yeah.
This is what I'll say, and I'm gonna be serious too. I have a love for all of my sisters, and when you are sisters, being a friend goes out the window. Like, there were times when I was really mad at my sister, or they were really mad at me because I wronged them. But at the end of the day, like, we all did this huge thing together, and there's really nothing that can, like, tear us apart. I don't want to drop names because, I mean, I'm sure every single one of those girls gave me a headache at one point in the
Right.
show. And so the answer is all of them. But are they my sisters? Yes. Are they my friends? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And you
Very well
recovered
said.
from the joke. So, well,
Did I?
You did. I'm
I
still
did.
here.
Yeah,
I mean, you survived.
Yeah.
I thought it could have been much worse for you.
I mean, it was pretty bad watching that back. I was like, oh, bitch. But you know what? we made it. We made it past the episode. So I guess every day's a new day, right?
And it was so admirable. You didn't even really drag her. You kind of like moved on.
Well, why would I want to drag her, girl? First of all, she stole bad jokes. That was the first thing. Second of all, her roast was one of the worst roasts like ever on that show. I wanted to take no credit for that.
Yeah.
Imagine me being like, girl, she stole my joke.
And they were like, well,
And they were like, well, girl, why would you want to take credit? I was like, girl, let me just keep my mouth shut. Like, you know what
So
I mean?
you sabotaged her.
Did I? did I? Well, maybe I did. Maybe I did. Got you, bitch.
Mama Ru has been doing this for a long time.
Long.
What is the best piece of advice she gave you while filming or after?
I remember one of my walkthroughs, she was telling me that when I'm on the runway, she was like, I can see you thinking. And she was like, I can see you, like, panicking sometimes because I'm just, like, a very, like, high-strung person. And she told me, to remember that there's power in my presence. And that wasn't shown on the show, but that was something that I kept telling myself, excuse me, throughout the competition and in my life too, like, there's power in presence. You don't need to be like at 100 all the time. Like, just existing, just being there is powerful enough. And like, there's, you know, you can add to it, but like, that's already like so much of the battle.
She noticed I had like some sort of wall up or something that was like protecting me from like letting people in. And she was just like, put the wall down, girl. Let it all hang out. It's a safe place. You ain't gonna hurt nobody, and ain't nobody gonna hurt you. And that really stuck with me because I didn't even realize that about myself, and I still work on it to this day. But I try to move through life without those walls and really with open arms because I do want to let people into my wicked little brain as much as possible, and you know. Spreading joy is so contagious, so why not continue to do that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She let me in. She let me in, girl. She let me in, girl.
Who for each of you is a big pop culture icon, either a singer, actor that you would love to collaborate with? Let's put that out in the universe today.
I would go ahead and say, I have to say it in every interview so she sees it. Quinta B. I would love to work with Quinta B. For me, she is a pop culture icon. A large. I would also love to work with Eddie Murphy.
Yes.
That's
I think that would really be cool. I think I would play like a really good like son of his in a movie. I think that would be really cool. Or a drag daughter. You never know. But yeah, I feel like those are my two pop culture icons I would love to work with. Or like Kendrick Lamar. That would be cool. Dream big, girl.
Dream big. I think for me, obviously Ariana Grande is someone who I've always looked up to, style-wise, music-wise. Her music has helped me through so much. Love that girl. Love that woman so much. Someone else that I'd love to collaborate with, a makeup artist who like I'm obsessed with and like has inspired my drag so much is Pat McGrath. She's someone who's like done so many iconic makeup looks, and you know, I had her work pinned up on my wall for years. So I would love to do something with Pat McGrath at some point in my career. That would just be amazing. Absolutely.
So many of Drag Race's contestants grow up watching the show, and I'm curious, do you remember how old you were when you started watching it, and how did the show influence your own style?
I mean, it influenced me so much. I mean, I didn't know anything about fashion before, you know, getting up or watching the show. I feel like through the show, I was able to learn. I would, you know, been inspired by other queens and be like, oh, what is she referencing? Like, what is this reference? I like this. And then I do research on that designer or that time period. And yeah, it's just the drag queens are so referential at everything we do. And we tell stories with our outfits and we tell stories with our performances. And through the show and through, you know, my obsession with it, it created this beast, this monster.
Yeah, I didn't start. I'm 32 now. I didn't start watching the show until I was 27, 28. So really late in life. I kind of just stumbled upon it. It wasn't a show that I would watch in like my mom's house or my grandma's house. So like I didn't watch it until I like moved by myself, and I watched it, and there was something about the sisterhood, the creativity, and you know, all of that the show encompassed that allowed me to be attracted to it. And it was at a point in my life where I didn't know what I was doing with myself, and I just kind of like stepped my foot into that pool, and it really worked and resonated for me. And seeing the show was something that I could put a goal and say that I want to do this. You know, I could see myself on this show. So in my 4-year career, it has been my life journey to get on this show.
Are you watching All Stars, and what do you think of Butthole repping for season 17?
We are so proud.
Love it.
So proud.
I was just saying, Lydia left on such a high note where I felt like the audience and the room was just getting a chance to see exactly who she was. And we all saw RuPaul kind of give her that the twinkle in her eye when she did the Boogie Wonderland. So I knew once Lydia was eliminated, that wasn't the last time we were going to see her. Did I think we would see her that soon? No, but it gagged me, and she's doing a wonderful job with Beast among Beast.
Right. Yeah. It's been I love the format too. The format of the new All Stars is so fun to watch, and I mean, Lydia's killing it. She's playing the game just right. She knows exactly what she's doing. I think she learned from the demonic season 17 girls how to play the game.
Yeah.
And she is, she's doing her big one. So we're very proud of her.
Well, final question, ladies. Drag Race has won so many Emmy Awards through the years. And I'm just curious, do you think your season deserves to win? Do you want to go up on that stage with Mama Ru and accept that trophy?
Girl, we will win.
We definitely
We will win. This season has everything
Yeah.
that it needs. We have amazing drag. There's so much heart, so much friendship, so much like real,
Yeah,
stories were told. And
absolutely. I feel like we've had 17, going on 18 amazing seasons of Drag Race. I feel like our season in particularly let the audience see like the inside, who we are as people, on top of like the glamorous drag that we wear. I feel like we really like turned our drag inside out for the audience to see that we are like real emotional, messy, and sometimes very troubled human beings under all this drag. And I thought it was a kick-ass season.
absolutely, the most beautiful part of this is that it's a show that celebrates and highlights different queer individuals. It shows who we really are as people. And not a lot of times there's shows that kind of highlight that and show, people from like real people from real towns. Like, it's not like we're not all from LA. We're not all like rich from LA. Like, we're real queer people who are, from all different places in life, who just have the one thing in common, which is their passion for drag. And yeah, it's a really beautiful thing to get to watch.
Yeah, and regardless of if we win an Emmy or not, I feel like drag will always exist on a very powerful, local, and global ass level. Like, without Drag Race, I don't think it would be such on like a big level it is, but it really started from the ground, and I feel like it will always be that popular.
Yeah.
Because we're sickening.
Absolutely.